Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today, guys, we're jumping down into the world of Cardano's ADA, taking a look at the price action post 𝗕𝗲 and all that wonderful stuff. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay. Let's make a start. Cardano paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is our data source. Now, I've started out here, just zoomed out a little bit on this chart, just so that we can kind of reflect on the structure that sits here on the left-hand side. Now, I can appreciate if you're new to the channel, this looks mighty confusing. It really is actually quite simple, and it isn't that complicated when you get into the swing of understanding what these different letters and numbers mean. Basically, these are waves, and they're counting the various different moves that's going on, okay? The different sentiment, people selling, people buying. That's basically what I'm tracking here, the psychology of people who are interacting with buying and selling ADA. So we've got a couple of clear things that are going on, well worth kind of noting. This is why I'm starting here. To start with, we have this area just here, okay? This is a 5-wave drop, 1 through 5. Okay, this 5-wave structure is something that we'll obviously have to be met up with later. Okay, so we can't just have 5 waves on their own. You can start with 5 waves, then we're going to have to end with 5 waves. We can end with 5 waves and not start with 5 waves, but essentially there are the corrections of 3, 3, 5. That's a really bad 3. Okay, that's one type of corrective structure, or there's one like 5, 3, 5. And because we've started with 5 waves, this is what my expectations are. Okay, it's either 5, 3, 5 or 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. And what these numbers basically represent are the number of waves that you would expect to go in a particular direction. Okay, so really, really simple. 5 waves coming down, you'd then expect 3 waves to come up, which we've done. Okay, then because we've had 3 waves up and we started with 5 waves, we're going to expect 5 waves to come down. Things get a little bit more complicated when we get into it, but that's kind of the gist of it. That's kind of what we're expecting, right? Very, very simple stuff. And if you're looking for more information about it, join us in Discord. Link is in the description below. We've got a 181-page document on Elliott Wave theory. Goes into a lot more detail than I will. Well worth a good read, but for now, we'll just stick to the basics, right? 5, 3, 5 is my expectations. But let's talk about what's going on since the 𝗕𝗲 and all of that kind of stuff, right? So if we zoom in on this part, we're expecting 5 waves down. Now, we haven't really got 5 waves at the same scale, okay? So we need to come down lower than this origin, okay? So a zigzag pattern, like a 5, 3, 5, we have to come down lower than the 5th wave that's down here. Okay, so if I grab myself a horizontal line and I just throw this on here, you can see this price coming in, right? We can see that one right in there, and basically coming in here at 40.23. Okay, that is the low point. So we know that that low point down there is the area that we're expecting to kind of move down to. I'm just going to actually clear out some of these other lines. I don't need those. In fact, I'll also remove that as well. So we have this low point, 40.23 cents. We have to come down lower than this to complete our structure. Now that we haven't done this yet, it means one of two things. Either we haven't finished our move to the upside, okay, and things are just more complicated, as in all of these kind of wave structures that I'm talking about nest inside bigger wave structures. Okay, they always break down lower and lower and lower, right? We're just on the hourly chart here, and I've got some kind of 4, 5, 4, 8, and daily kind of structures, as you can kind of see, overlapping everything. So we're talking about the internal structures on the daily chart, and then inside here, we're talking about these real micro movements. As I zoom in further, you'll see additional kind of structures appear. So we've had 3 waves up. Now, this does to me look like we're done, because if we've gone 3 waves up, then essentially we have a couple of options. We go 3 waves down, or we just go ahead and do 5 waves down, marrying up with our side this over here, right? It's pretty straightforward. However, we've got 5 waves down that do not cross the 40.23 level. So this means that inside here we may have one of 2 different structures. Okay, so we might not be done with our move to the upside. We'll have to obviously come down lower than this level here at 42.26. Okay, so we're going to have to come down lower than that to complete our structure here, because again, like everything, we've started with 5 waves. We've had 3 waves up and we've started with 5 going down. So this is again going to be a 5, 3, 5 structure, or a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. okay? And basically our 5 waves over this side will be matched up as this is a total of 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And inside each of those waves, you have 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. So that's also possible. But we'll keep an eye and see how things go. If we end up with a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, then we're going to be coming down towards our accumulation zones, potentially even lower than 28 cent, right? So there's always that to kind of think about. But let's go ahead and just drill this down a little bit further, right? We'll talk about what's been going on over here. And yes, right, we've got a lot more 5-wave structures, right? We've got 5 here. We had 3 up. We've got 5, 3, 5. We've got another 3-wave structure just down here. And then we start to move back up again. Okay, so if we kind of think about this, a 5, 3, 5 structure, I said as we zoom in, you'll look very, very similar. 5, 3, 5 structure, okay? And basically, this makes all of this little area here a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 5 down, 3 up, 5 down. That's 3 waves containing 5 waves down, 3 waves up, and 5 waves down. It's an ABC structure. Okay, so if I were to go ahead and actually remove the 5, 3, 5, you would actually see this just as A, B, C. And it'll be as simple as that. Now, this last 5-wave structure here at the bottom is short, and it's unusual. You don't normally see that. That's an unusual thing, but it's there. You can't ignore it. It's what it is. So moving on from that, okay, if we assume that this is just a 3-wave drop here, and, you know, we haven't moved higher than this 3-wave move here, then actually we might still be inside this 3-wave structure. Okay, so we haven't finished yet. Okay, this isn't really meeting the criteria of a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 or anything like that. So let's take a look at where we are right now, right? If we start drilling down, we see this structure. Now, this looks like a pretty obvious move to me anyway, but I'll walk you through it. Here it looks like we might be in some kind of 3-wave structure to move upwards and down at the same time. A little bit hard to read. Okay, this can go in multiple different directions. Now, on here yesterday, as I was talking to the members within our Discord server, we were saying, okay, well, we're overbought on our stochastic RSI, our momentum indicator, as we're up at this high range here, meaning that we have a high probability of moving down towards 43.13 and completing this structure. This also looks like it could be in a head and shoulder pattern, which for if you follow other kind of pattern-based traders, you'll know what that looks like. But essentially a head and shoulder would look something like this, and we kind of pull this back in. Here's your left shoulder. We're just going to retest it, and you'd break down from there. Now, I don't do pattern trading, but it's very obvious that when we start seeing 3 waves up, 3 waves down, it's a head and shoulder pattern. And usually what happens is the 3-wave structure down here, this A, B, and C, that I say the 43.13, could turn into something a little bit more sinister, could become a 5-wave structure, right? So it's 3 up, 5 down. Right. So as we start to really break this down, we can start to really make sense over the entire structures. Now, of course, I'm talking a lot about different kind of structures, 3 waves, 5 waves, 5, 3, 5s, 5, 3, 5s, 3 5s, and etc. Right. Then join us in Discord, read the PDF. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find in there, because it is going to enlighten you guys as to basically all those patterns that people talk about. They're all nested inside these wave structures, and the wave structures are mapping people's behavior. And when we know this and we couple it up with the Fibonacci levels and the stochastic RSI, we get a good idea as to where the market is going. So in the case of Cardano here, potentially down 43.13. Now, not only on the hourly chart do we have that, but we also have a little bit more to the downside to be had here on the 4-hourly and the 8-hourly as well. The daily is actually okay. We can see we're moving up a little bit recently over the last few days. We progressed up a bit, but we do need to see some kind of pullback, or specifically more on the 4 and 8 hour charts. But at the moment, not as much volume is really coming in, and so therefore the stochastic RSI is showing us with momentum shifting from bearish to bullish and bearish to bullish and bearish to bullish over and over again. This is going to be pretty consistent over the weekend. So it just means that this B wave might not be done. We might have to come up higher. The higher that the B wave goes, the higher that our C wave will go. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious here, but essentially it looks like we're going to have to come down. If not, then what we're actually looking at is going to be a slightly larger A, B, and C structure like that. Okay, so again, we'll keep a close eye on it, but I wouldn't expect that to be the case because of 5 waves here. Okay, now, well, actually, to be fair, that's 5, 3, 5, so that should be done, and then we should start to move up, and then we move back down again. Okay, so with that being said, if we are to start to see some kind of more sustained long-term push higher, then we have to consider that actually, you know, there's a lot of things to kind of consider here. Okay, we haven't had those 5 waves down that we need to see on this end, so therefore 3 more up and then 5 more down later. Okay, and then of course, those 5 waves coming down later will also be married up with what's going on this side. So there's a lot of things to consider with Cardano. It's not as complicated as Ethereum and things like that. XRP is very complicated right now as well, as you probably know if you've watched the videos. But in the case of Cardano, it's an interesting set of structures, right? It's a little bit all over the place. The entire market is, to be fair. People don't generally know what to do. Is it going down into new lower lows? Is it not going down into new lower lows and all that kind of stuff? Cardano is kind of just bumping around, and there isn't real structure at macro level for Cardano. It's very corrective, basically short term. It's not really trending down in the same way that Ethereum is, for example. So long term, I'm really confident in Cardano, but we do need to get through these kind of volatile moments. I do expect there to be a significant move to the upside in the coming days, but I can't see that happening until we complete these structures. So do potentially be prepared for some kind of quick move to the downside that might be over reasonably fast, and then some kind of really big surge to the upside. But for now, that's kind of what I have on Cardano. Hopefully things will clear up. Specifically next week when we start to see more patterns and structures appearing within the data. But for now, do expect some volatility when it comes to Cardano's ADA. And guys, if you found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I appreciate that it's incredibly confusing. Do join us down in Discord. Link is in the description below. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. I don't think you'll be disappointed by the streams or videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.